Thankful for cancer? Question mark. Find out on this episode of The Wish Kids. Hi, I'm Milan.
Hey, I'm Matthew. We were both given the opportunity to ask for a once-in-a-lifetime experience from a certain organization that rhymes with shake a fish. So for our wish, we asked to start our very own podcast. I'm just kidding. I went to Boston, New York to watch baseball.
I went to Paris and you're at Disney, but now we have a podcast too.
Welcome to The Wish Kids.
Welcome to The Wish Kids.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We've been in quarantine for a while now because of this pandemic. It's new for some people, but for some others like us, quarantining isn't that new of a thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, we've both quarantined before this. Matthew, you had cancer and I've had other medical conditions. So we're both kind of used to this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting diagnosed with something is pretty life-changing. Um, like you said, I had cancer. And so that definitely threw a wrench in my life, I guess you'd say. But I feel like that phrase is kind of in a demeaning or negative tone because if I'm being honest, I think it changed my life for the better, which is kind of crazy to say. And it's pretty hard to especially for people on the outside, it's hard to wrap your head around that notion that having such a deadly, not I shouldn't say deadly, such a serious disease, such a serious disease can change someone's life for the better. But I think it really did. It just gave me a brand new perspective on everything. I started appreciating everything a whole lot more.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I totally agree. I got a new appreciation for life and everything. And I even learned more about myself and just kind of how powerful my body is and how strong you have to be to get through some of those treatments, and not even physically but mentally too, because it obviously drains a lot on your mental health and just life in general, because you don't realize how much your body is used for things because you're just so used to doing them. For example, I didn't realize how much my hands were used, and just even in the small bit of me talking, my hands were used so much, and I didn't realize that until it hurt to physically use them. And even a blanket, I couldn't, I was in so much pain that I couldn't even have a blanket on me. And now I just I'm so appreciative that I can just put clothes on and move my hands in an aggressive manner to express myself in conversation.
Very Italian of you.
It is. I am. Yes,
I like how you were flexing your tie-dye cat shirt too, as you said that.
Thank you. Yes, it is. This is probably one of my favorite shirts. For those who click on the video and watch, it's a spiral. For those who are listening, it's a spiral cat shirt of just
you just explained it twice.
I mean, just so everyone kind of it's a visual, audio visual type learners.
It's tie-dye day on the Wish Kids today.
It is.
Yeah. But no, I totally agree with that. Of just not knowing. I mean, in the moment for me, oh, there's a fly. Hold on. I missed it. In the moment, in the moment for me, I remember, or not, yeah, throughout my treatment, I wouldn't think much of what I was doing because I put myself in a mindset of one day at a time, just one thing at a time. And so I would do these things, they'd give me 10 or 20 pills to take. I'd take them. They'd do an injection. I'd do it. I wouldn't think anything. I'm like, okay, this is just my life now. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do this. But now looking back on it and remembering all the aches I had and different swelling and um and just everything that was going on, it's it really we were it's tough, and you have to be strong.
It does. It weighs on you, and even if it's not right away, it'll weigh on you later. Because I know for a fact I was the goofy kid. I'd come into the hospital and I'd be like the like, ooh, making jokes about everything. But then like later, like after kind of like maybe my treatment kind of like tapered off a little bit, it started like really affecting me because I didn't like put together instantly, like, oh my gosh, like this is like really weighing on me and like wow, it's just so much. And
Yeah.
you don't notice it until later. Then you just become aware of how like you can get through things even if you don't know like in the moment and you just don't realize it.
Yeah. For me, it was almost the opposite of what you're saying, how, like, at the start, you were, like, the cool kid in the hospital, like, making jokes and stuff. Because for me, it was, like, when I first started, I thought, like, I didn't care what was going on, really. I just wanted to get through it. And so, like, they put a port in me. I don't know if you had a port or not, or I'm sure some viewers or listeners have had one or have one still, but they asked me before the procedure to the surgery, they said, like, "Do you wanna see what it looks like?" And I was like, "No, like, I don't really care, like, it doesn't matter to me, just get this over with, I just want it to be done." And they're like, "Okay," and so they put it in, and they would ask me, like, "Do you want like, we're giving you this drug, do you wanna know what it does?" I'm like, "No, like, I don't care." And then, like, after, like, a year or so, I realized, like, wait, this is, like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I started, like, loosening up, I started realizing this is my life, so I should just, like, embrace it rather than, like, try to get past it, like,
Mhm.
so I remember I started asking my nurses and doctors, like, "Oh, can you explain what that does again?" Like, "Oh, can you like, can I see that, like, port again?" And they, like, came in with, like, a model, like, "Oh, we're not supposed to show you this, but, like, this is what it looks like," and they, like, showed it to me, I was like, "Oh, thank you," and they're like so, yeah, for me, it was more like, at the start, I was very, like I had a lot of teen angst, I'd say.
Mhm.
I was very like, "Oh, this I don't care what's going on, I'm too cool for this," like, that kinda cool. Then, as it went on, I became more like, "Oh, like, this is my life, so I'll embrace it. I'll appreciate the little things that are going on." Like I started enjoying the breakfasts they served in the hospital, which like the hospital food's known for being bad.
It's
Obviously.
a fact. It's a theme.
But I would always get Cocoa Krispies every morning for breakfast. And then
Like, wait, like they weren't like Cocoa Puffs, it's Cocoa Krispies.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Sorry, it was Koala Crisp. It's the whole grain or like the healthy version of it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The like trying to be healthy version.
Yeah, yeah. The healthy version of a chocolate cereal, yes. But every morning I would eat that and I'd be like, "This is like a really good cereal, I really enjoy this." And yeah, just like talking to the nurses and doctors and like asking them actually like what kind of stuff I'm going through and like what is going on. Um,
That's really
but
interesting
yeah.
because I used to do that too, and I feel like I learned so much about like what is actually going on because I would ask like what's in this treatment today or like what are like all of my pills doing, and then sometimes I'd get like echocardiograms and I would ask like can I see it? Can I watch and like tell me what you're looking for? Because it was so fascinating seeing like all the stuff that's like on the screen.
Yeah, those are the coolest. I had a few of those, and I asked them, like, "Can I take pictures of these on my phone?" Like, no."
They're like, is this legal?
Yeah, like, this is, like, confidential medical information, you can't share this or take pictures. I was like, "Okay, that makes sense."
I used to ask to film, like, getting,
Oh, yeah.
the needle, and then, like, after I kept asking, like, I would ask, like, every time I'd get this drawn, which was, like, a lot of times. They started having to put signs up, like, behind the thing, like, "No photos or videos." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't" like, I to me, it was just like, "Oh, this is so cool." Like, I love, like, watching which for a lot of people, they
It's
don't like needles,
oh, my
and
mom hates them. She, like anytime I got stuck by a needle, she would leave the room, like, she could not even be in the same room as me.
yeah. Did you have to do injections yourself?
No, no, I never did that.
Did, like, a parent administer your
Uh-uh.
injection? Oh, we had, like, take home I had to do, like, injections, like, at my house, and, my mom could not do that. It was kind of funny because like, my mom would, like, go, and she would be, like, so close to doing it, and then she'd be like, "No, no, 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 no," and get my dad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never had take home. stuff. I would always just go in. Um, but I remember just coming home because I spent a whole, I mean, prolonged visits to the hospital are never fun. Um, obviously. But yeah, I spent my first month after my diagnosis there in the hospital. And that was like the longest month I've ever experienced in my life. Like it seemed like it was like 3 months. But I just remember coming home and like speaking on that just like appreciation for everything. Like I remember the first thing I did was just, well, first off, even being unhooked from like the stand that has like medicine on it, that's just like that's a crazy feeling too, to actually be able to like walk freely and like
It's a
do like
new freedom.
to do a spin in a circle even. Like that was I got unhooked like halfway through just to like to clean it. And like I remember I like spun in a circle. My mom videotaped me and she's like, "Oh, careful, careful, don't get dizzy." And like it was just like spinning in a circle. It's such an amazing like freedom. I was like, I'm not stuck in a bed. I'm not even just like hooked up to anything. I'm actually like able to like stand and like turn. Um, but then yeah, when I came home, the first thing I did was just I took off my shoes and walked outside in the grass. And like just having the feeling of like grass on my like bare feet and toes was like something that like seemed so normal. And then when I came back, I was like, this is an amazing, amazing feeling to have.
Yeah. Like just hearing that, like you can kind of get like chills from it because it's like that's such an everyday normal thing. Like people have grass in their front yard and they're like they go out or they like walk their dog. And it's like we come home and that's what we look forward to. Like I'm pretty sure the first thing I did when I came home from the hospital was like take a shower.
Oh
Like
my
that
God.
just it was so relaxing and it just felt like I'm just cleaning off like that that time that I was in the hospital and that part of my life and I was just like a new person.
Just that hospital feeling is like what? Because there's I feel like there always is like a feeling. Like I remember coming home from the hospital, like from like visits and stuff. I feel like there was just like a film on me of like hospital. Like
Yes, and it's like because when you're there, they have like the blankets and you're using all of their stuff. And
oh,
it's like when you come home, I want to like wash that all off so I can use my stuff again.
yeah, showers and then oh my gosh, my couch. I don't mean to brag, guys, but I have the most comfy couch in the world. And just coming home and like sitting on that rather than like sitting in a hospital bed, which like oh, I remember the first week actually. I thought the hospital beds were the coolest.
Well,
Like
because they move and then like that gets like you get so bored of that
oh,
after
you get so sick of it. It's so
yeah,
sick.
you're like, okay, I want it to just stay. Just stay.
Yeah. But but yeah, just sitting on my couch, I was like, wow, like this is something because I used to sit on my couch for hours and hours each day, just watching TV or playing video games, and like coming home and sitting on it again, I was like, wow, this is nice.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but it's like it's things like that. It's just like if I had never been diagnosed or gotten sick, I would have never had this appreciation for things. It's like it's almost it's kind of mean to say, kind of strange, but in a way, it's almost like everyone something. It's I feel like it's something everyone should experience at some point in their life.
I don't
Like
think that's mean. I think it's just more of like people you we like people like you and me and probably people listening, we have a new appreciation for life and just empathy. There's so much more of like, oh my gosh, like I totally understand what you're going through and you don't feel good that you don't get unless you've been through certain situations.
definitely, it gives you like a whole completely different perspective
It
on
really
like not just life, but just like every individual aspect of life.
right.
And it's just like yeah, and it's not something it's something that not a lot of people will ever experience or understand. But for those that do experience something like this, like going through a life-threatening um, situation or illness, um, it's like you kind of have to change your mindset and perspective and like understand that this isn't something that everyone is going to deal with for good and for bad. Like obviously there's a lot of bad with it. But also you have to it's I feel like it's really, really important to wrap your mind around the good of it
Right.
and like the opportunity to like reset the way you think about yourself and the world and everything around you.
Right. And I think you just like realize how important life really is. Like it's short and you can get it, and it's like it can easily be taken away too. And just start living with like more meaning and like being kind to people, cuz I know like in middle school, like I feel like that's kind of around when you and I got like
Mhm.
diagnosed, that like in middle school it's kind of when kids start becoming a little like meaner and cliques are forming. And I know for a fact that I probably wouldn't have been the nicest person if I hadn't gone through something that like really humbled me and made me like take into consideration, you know what, like I don't need to treat people with like a hierarchy or anything. Like we should all just appreciate and value each other more, because like it's just life, and like it's so short, and like it's some, for some it's long, but for some it's short, and like we should just start living with that like meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a really, really good way of putting it. Like, because I had a friend come visit me in the hospital. Um, and I say friend because he's a friend now, but at the time, like, I didn't honestly, I didn't like him that much. And he
Just know
came
the
visit
story. He like listens and he's like,
me.
okay, wait, sorry, I cut you off. Continue.
No, but he came and visited me. I'm like, and I just realized like this is like there's no reason that I ever disliked him. I shouldn't say I disliked. I just I didn't have an affection for him, I guess.
Right. You didn't have a connection and no
Yeah.
like
But
relatability there.
like just realize like him coming visit me, like obviously that was incredibly nice of him. That just made me realize for like everyone that I'm like there's no reason to dislike these people that I like dislike. Like unless there's like something really like bad that they've done to me, obviously then you can dislike them. But in my instance, like none of these people had. And so I realized that there's no reason to be mean to these people or like just there's no reason to not be nice to them. Like I just realized it's way better to laugh at everyone's joke and to be nice to everyone, make everyone else smile. There's no reason to take that away from people.
Right. That's really nice. Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, it also comes down to like you never know what's going on in someone else's life. Because like I know for a fact it's like when I was like really going through it, I probably didn't really look like I was, or there was nothing like super physical unless people like came and visited me or saw it, because like I pulled myself together. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm in middle school. Like I have to look a certain way." And like it was probably really hard, and it was like, okay, how many other people are also going through things that I know nothing about? Like that doesn't give me a pass to just be like, oh, like I don't like you for XYZ reason, and I'm gonna just like be mean.
Mhm.
So I definitely think we all appreciate the little things a whole lot more.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Like I
Like,
know I know you have a thing that you really appreciate now.
yes, okay, like it's so little. It is so little. And I don't think that like this is like super relatable, but it could be like applied to anything. It's just I enjoy really looking at cows now. I literally used to drive by these cows every single day for years. Like they were always in the same spot, and I was just like, oh, like the cows, like okay, it's gonna smell bad. But now I stop and I look at them, and especially in the evening when the sun is setting, because it's just so pretty, and you
Oh.
just it just adds so much color to my life.
Cows at sunset. That's beautiful.
Sunset Cows, band name?
Song recommendation next week. It's but yeah, no, sunsets became that for me where my mom used to always ask me, "Do you want to go see the sunset?" I was like, "Sunset? Like that happens every night. I don't need to see that." And
Like,
then
there'll be one tomorrow.
yeah. That was my mindset. I'm like, "No, I'm gonna stay inside and play video games. I don't need to see a sunset." Um, but, like, for the past, like, year and a half, actually, especially this year, I made my New Year's resolution to see more sunsets. And so my camera roll is probably, like, at least half just pictures of sunsets. I take way too many photos of them. They're like some nights they're almost identical, but other nights they're like really pretty. But I made a point to like always just like get outside at get outside at sunset and watch. Um, just it's like a 30-minute thing each day. Sometimes I'd be there for like an hour and a half. They were long some days.
Well, it can be like a thing, like just going somewhere and like sitting there, even with people, which not now,
Yeah,
pandemic,
no, stay
but
safe.
but like before, and hopefully in some point we'll get that back. Just like you get a bond with people, even if you're not saying anything, you just have an opportunity to just connect and watch something like magical. And it's like, okay, yes, it happens every night, but it's still so cool to watch the sky literally change before your eyes. And even sunrise. I know we're talking about sunsets, but
Oh, sunrises. Yeah,
sunrises are even more rare, especially like when you get older and you want to sleep in and you don't feel good. Waking up really early to witness that, it's cold, but it's worth it.
yeah. No, I've never woken up on purpose to watch the sunrise. I've
Twice that I can remember.
it just actually no, I did once, with a group of friends, and it was foggy that day, so we didn't see anything.
Yes.
Uh, but
Bay Area problems.
yeah, but the 2 or 3 other times I've seen the sunrise were on accident, like, I just happened to be up at that hour,
Mhm.
but no, like, honestly, if I could go back and change my wish, I might just wish to go somewhere, like, high up, like, on a mountain or something, and watch a sunset, because
That's so wholesome.
they're just, like I don't know, they always just make me happy, and they're just, like, really, like you just sit there or stand I like standing, honestly. I'm not a big fan of sitting, especially in tall grass, like, on a hill, like, too many bugs, but just
Ooh,
standing.
no bugs.
I know, yeah, that's but
Um,
yeah, just,
did
like,
you ever have
standing.
those people that would, like, ask you about your wish, and you'd, like, say something about it, and then they'd be like, "Oh, that's so cool, I wish I had that."
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
like, "Oh, wait, 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 did you ever miss school?" And it, like, happened to be, like, on a test day or something, and people were like, "I wish that was me," but, like, you were just going to treatment.
yeah, yeah, like, going and missing school, like, "Oh, you get to ditch school," it's like, yes, but, like, I'm also getting injected with drugs, um
Chemicals, yay.
Yeah. But but no, as an outpatient where I'll go in once a month, I actually really started, like, enjoying, those days, which is weird, but, like, I would look forward to my treatment each month, just because it was a day of, like, regularity almost. It was like because it obviously, when you're diagnosed and when you're getting treatment,
It
it's
becomes
hard.
a routine.
Yeah, but it's also hard to find a routine in your daily life.
Mhm.
Like, there's a routine in your treatments, but it's hard to get a routine for yourself, kind of.
No,
Uh,
because they make you feel really, like,
mhm.
drained, and it's like that takes a lot of energy to, like, do that, so then, like, your one thing is having a routine for that, and then, like, trying to build one outside of it can become so exhausting.
Yeah, but I think that's why I looked forward to it so much, 'cause that was, like, one thing I always knew was constant each month. And my family, my parents and I actually, like it became fun. It became really fun for me because every time we would go in, I was friends with the nurses and doctors. Like, I would always say hi to, like, all of them, even if they're not, like even just one I mean, just one is assigned to you, one nurse, and you meet with one doctor maybe. But I would always go to the nurses station, like, say hi to everyone else. I would
They
always
become your, like, friends, and they become people you constantly, like, connect with, and there's a bond there.
Mhm. There definitely is, and, like, just knowing, like, the nurses and doctors were there to help me and, like, we could always, like, smile and say hi to each other, and then, like, after treatment, I'd always just go and get food with my family, um, and it would just be like it would be a whole, like, outing almost, like,
It
not an
was
outing,
like an event.
yeah, it was just, like, a nice time with my family where it's like, I miss school, but I'm not even thinking about school at that point, so I'm like, I get some drudge, I say hi to my friends at the hospital, the nurses and doctors there, and I get some food, and just, like, it's a nice day, um, which is, like it became, like, a nice routine, but speaking more on, like, how people were, like, jealous of missing school, like, this one time, I remember I had a final for one of my classes, this is high school final, um, and I was just feeling awful that day. I had treatment the week before, so I'm just feeling, like, awful, and I tell my teacher, my mom probably told him, like, "Hey, like, I can't make it to school today. I feel awful. I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh, like, no worries. We'll make up your final, after you come back from winter break." Okay, that's great. Um, and I
Wait, what class was this?
this was world history, I think. Yeah, so kind of like I mean, somewhat important class.
Yeah.
It
Decent.
wasn't
Was it
it wasn't
AP?
no, it wasn't AP.
Okay.
It was um, but I came back from break like 3 weeks later, and we never brought it up again. He didn't bring it up, I didn't bring it up, we didn't talk about it once, and I
It's
got
like
my
Fight Club, you don't talk about it.
yeah. But I got my report card at the end of the year, and he just gave me an A on the final, and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." Like,
I'll
that's
take it.
yeah, that's cool. Like,
I mean, okay, I didn't get out of any finals. Actually, there's one my freshman year I did get out of a final, but it was because I was just really good at English that she was like, "Okay, you don't need to waste your time." And I happened to like miss that week. And
oh,
that's the thing is I had a lot of people tell me that I was so lucky to like miss a week of school. And I was like, I actually want to be at school. Like I enjoy it. And I think that's the thing is you don't realize until you're not there how much you want to be there.
definitely.
And I mean like some people can probably relate to this with the pandemic of like, oh wow, like oh having like the 3 months that like we were supposed to have off of school and then like we don't have school again, you realize, oh wait, I kind of enjoyed seeing like some of these people and
Yeah,
like going to the classes and having that routine. Whereas like when you were sick, like you were intentionally missing it and you knew you were missing it, which is what was worse.
yeah, that's one of those little things again that you, like if or when you're able to go back to school, it's like you realize how special it is to, like, see your friends each day and, like, just, like, talk to them and eat with them and, like, it's a really cool thing. Yeah, everyone's experienced it now with the pandemic, but, like, that's something that we had to experience, like,
Right. And it's
before.
like now everyone's kind of experiencing it like at your school. Whereas like when like you do get diagnosed, it's a lot of people like you were missing out and you knew you were missing out. Whereas now it's kind of like, okay, wait, like we're all missing out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very different. It almost felt like people were, like, advancing without you, which is a scary thought,
Mhm,
and I remember thinking that when I was in the hospital and, like, I missed almost a year of school when I was first diagnosed, and, like, that thought of, like, everyone, like, advancing not only, like, in school, but, like, socially too, like, that really, like, scared me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind, like, in every aspect."
mhm,
And it probably took me, like, a year or 2, being back in school and back in, like, society, like, almost normally, to realize that it really doesn't matter.
right.
Like, everyone matures and advances at their own speed,
Mhm,
um, and I found when after I realized that, I found I was, like I was obviously behind some people because I'm pretty much missed a year of life almost,
mhm.
um, but I also found, like, in many other aspects, I was, like, far ahead of people.
You're more grounded, I think, and like more humble. And whereas like I like when I went back to school, I found that it was kind of almost hard to connect with some people because they had no, like, perspective that, like, I kind of grown to have while I was sick,
Mhm.
and it was like, "Oh, wow, like, this conversation is gonna be so hard because I don't need to talk about, like, some pop culture stuff and, like, drama." I'm like, "Okay, let's talk about, like, what we appreciate in life," and they're like,
Yeah,
no."
yeah. No, that's so true. It's a whole different perspective that you obtain, from this that, like, so few people have, and you don't realize that until after you've gone through it that you're like, "Wow, like, no one else thinks like I do now,"
Mhm.
and, like, obviously it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but you're able to, like, adjust and, like, it's not a big deal, like, you can still have conversations with these people, obviously, but you start finding out, like, people who you actually connect with,
Right, and, like, that they're easier to connect with because they have either, like, developed at a, like, faster speed than probably, like, other kids in the class. Because
mhm,
that was, like, the other thing is, like, you're with the, like, that kind of general population of the class, and it's like some are going to be more mature, and even, like, people are probably gonna be more mature than you once you do go back to school and you're like,
yeah,
"Oh, whoa," like,
yeah,
it's
definitely,
just a balance because, I mean, that's kinda like how school and life works.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, so, like, wait, when when you were at school, did you ever have, like, a wish reveal?
Oh, what?
Wait, you don't know what a wish reveal is?
No, what?
Oh. They, like, came to, like, my school, and they, like, announced my wish, and we all had, like, treats and lots of pictures, and,
What?
they brought, like, an Eiffel Tower because, like, I was going to Paris and Disneyland, so we brought, like, I think it was cookies, and my mom that day was like, "Well, like, you should wear, like, your nice uniform," and I was like, "No, like, I don't care, like, I don't feel good. I'm going to school because, like, I'm having a decent day." And my
Yeah,
mom, "Hey, like, are you sure you don't wanna do your hair or, like, anything?" And I was like, "I'm fine, like, I just wanna go." And then, like, later in the day,
mhm.
um, people showed up to, like, take pictures and, like, have, like, my wish reveal, and I was like, "Oh, this makes a lot more sense when my mom was pushing it." And then I'm pretty sure, like, even after my wish reveal, I, like, went home because I didn't feel good, and I was just like, "Oh."
Alright, well
But it was so fun because, like, we got treats and, everyone in my class kind of, like, got to participate in
mhm,
something that was, like, good and beneficial for me, and, like, I was looking forward to it. And they also got to be really excited for me, which was, like, kind of fun and, like, really cool to just have, like, that sense of community of, like, oh, other people are, like, excited.
yeah, like, actually, like, rooting for you and, like,
Mhm.
yeah. No, I got an email, my my reveal was a bit different,
You have one email
yeah.
in no, I know you're the type of person that has, like, 4,000 emails.
Yeah, you've seen my or yeah, I've screen shared and you've seen my inbox. It's I just I'm sure I could find the email actually in there somewhere.
It's still unread.
But that's crazy. That's like I mean, some of them probably knew what was going on, but I'm sure others were just like, "Whoa, this girl can still Paris." Like,
Yeah, like, okay, like, I had some people thinking, like, it was cool to be sick for the wish, and I'm like, I wish I wasn't sick, but thanks."
yeah, wow. I mean, that's just like yeah,
Yeah, it
that
was kind of like a lack of understanding from other people of, like, what we go through of, like, okay, the wish is something that, like, kind of really, like, puts your character back together because, like, at the end of the day, getting sick, going to treatment, missing school, being kinda left out of things, and, like, falling and feeling behind, having a wish makes you feel just so much, like, more enjoyable and that there is life, like,
mhm,
still present, and there's something to look forward to.
yeah. But it's like it's almost like something you, like, earn
Right.
by
It's my badge of honor.
yeah, it's But it's like you have to go through this stuff, and then that's
Almost the, like, trophy or, like, the reward of, like, you know
yeah.
what, you're going through this, enjoy something.
I feel it. Yeah, I'd say it's more of just like a little pick me up, like a
Mhm,
boost, kind of like good job, keep pushing, keep going. Here's like something like lift your spirits to help you keep going. Just
mhm,
I think like at the end of the day, like the this is gonna sound so cliche, but at the end of the day, like, the reward is just like your new appreciation for life and like just having your life and just like your family around you and like friends and stuff like.
mhm.
But
Yes.
that would have been kind of cool, I think, to have a wish reveal. I'm not gonna lie, I think that would have been cool.
Yeah. But I mean, like, a lot of just people just don't get it though. And like, being in the hospital or like homesick when your friends and classmates are like out doing stuff and there's activities and like you can see them like having like birthday parties and you're like, wow, like I don't get to go because like, oh, my immune system's like really down and like I don't have those white blood cells to go function.
Yeah, ANC is too low. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel that because I mean, yeah, I remember the first year after my diagnosis. It was Halloween. And I was hanging out at a friend's house the entire day with like four other guys, and so like that was fine. We're all hanging out the entire day, and then they're all like, "Oh, we're all gonna sleep over tonight." I was like, "Oh, sleepover! I haven't had one of these in like a year." And like, mom, like, can I sleep over? And she said no, and I started crying. So I was so upset. But looking back on it, I realized like how little that sleepover meant, probably. Like,
Like in the grand scheme of things of like your health and everything. Mhm.
oh, in health and also just like in like relationships with those people and like
Right.
just like the friendships. But at the time, I was like, this is the most important thing in my life because like I've been out of it for so long.
Mhm.
Like this is a way for me to, like reconnect with people and like um just like re get back to some sort of normal
Mhm.
kind of by having like sleepovers with people. I felt
And kind of like regaining your social life after a while of like just not really having that.
hmm yeah.
Mhm.
But like doing like that and like you said, birthday parties too. Like there were certain things. I think a friend of mine went paintballing, and my mom was like, "Nope, like if you get shot, that bruise will be there
Like
for."
that bruise is not going away. I was gonna like
I would just yeah, I would have spots all over my body for the rest of the year probably if I had gone. Um, so that was a good call. I looking back, I definitely agree with that one.
yes. Yeah. I do have to say though, being sick and not included in everything did give me more time to do things. Like I had lots of time to do schoolwork. I know that sounds a little nerdy, but like I got so far ahead. I would literally finish like chapters of work in like a day and I'd be like, "Oh, like I'm ahead in the spelling book."
Wow. Yeah. I did zero schoolwork the entire time I was sick, I think.
You're just like, "Nah."
Yeah. No, I was not up for it. It just didn't interest me, I guess. I was like, no, I don't need to. I'll catch up once I'm back in school. And then I didn't go back to school that year, but I was like, I'll catch up. That's fine.
I I mean, I get it. I also read a ton,
Mm,
like so much.
yeah, I didn't do that either. I wasn't a nerd like you, Milan. I was a pretty cool kid. I played video games and watched TV all day.
Hey,
So,
wait, what video games did you play?
oh my gosh, I played so much Call of Duty.
Okay. I used
And
to play Call of Duty with my brother, but like now I don't.
really,
That was way back when.
way back in yeah, I played. I remember I would play GTA.
Okay.
I would play that for hours and hours a day. Like some days I wouldn't be able to sleep, so I'd wake up at 8 a.m. and play until like 4 in the afternoon, stop to watch TV as a break, And then
Break.
and then
Break from screen time is
yeah.
time.
But then I'll play again from, like, 7 until, like, 11 or midnight, and then go to bed, and that was my day for a lot of days that I remember. Um, it was a blast, honestly.
Daily routine.
It was a blast.
Okay, okay. I think I can say we both listen to a lot of music.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm because I found so many new artists and like just new type of like genres that I definitely did not listen to at all because I'm pretty sure before getting sick, I listened to only Big Time Rush. And now my like song library is just filled with like one song that's probably like hip hop and then one song that like goes into like really slow melody.
That's so funny because I also only listen to Big Time Rush, but I still only listen to them, so not much new music for me. Um, but
Yep.
I think
I mean,
that leads us well into our music recommendations for the week or for the show.
yeah. Matthew's song is a Big Time Rush song.
Yeah. Really just their whole album, their whole discography is great, I
All
think.
three.
They have 3.
They
What?
had 3 albums. Fake fan.
I'm a huge fake fan. Are you the
Yes.
fakest. No, for this show, I'm gonna suggest the song. Hey guys, it's me, Matthew. You might be thinking, Matthew, you're wearing different clothes, and you're all alone. Well, you're right. It's because I'm editing. And while editing, I realized that the song I recommended is kind of trash. So I wanted to give you a new, better song than the one I recommended. So my new and improved song this week is Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's a bit of a throwback, but I think it's an awesome song. There's some great guitar riffs and solos in there too. Just a great tune and beat all around. What was my other song? I guess we'll never know. Oh well, it was bad anyways. Now back to the show.
For this one, I'm gonna suggest All Right Cool, Whatever by the Happy Fits. I think the title of the song is so fitting
Love that title.
for this episode we just did because it's like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, we got sick, whatever, cool, we're moving on.
Yeah,
And so, like, I just think it's a good fit
happy.
because it's the Happy Fits. Oh my gosh, the connections.
Look at you go. Just yeah, no, Happy Fits is a good band. You definitely like them a lot.
I do enjoy them.
They'll
Uh,
they'll be seen on this show quite a bit, I'm sure.
Definitely, definitely. The whole we're gonna like be able to suggest the whole album, like
Yeah,
individually by the song.
yeah. Eventually, it'll be completely out of order, but it'll be there.
All right. I mean, I think that was a really productive episode.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you everyone for joining us, viewers, listeners, anyone else out there. Thank you. We really appreciate any support, any listening, any viewing. Yeah.
And the
But
Wish Kids wish you well.
Thank you to our moms for moderating and our dads for approving nods and occasional thumbs up.
We would also like to thank all of our wonderful nurses and doctors that we've had along the way and remind you that they are healthcare professionals, not us.
Please keep in mind, any medical information or stories shared and discussed in this podcast are based on personal experiences and are not meant to serve as medical advice. Please talk with your doctor about any medical concerns, questions, and guidance as they are trained medical professionals.
Any brands, corporations, trademarks, or characters in the show, even those based on real people, are purely fictional.
The Wish Kids wish you well.